The scripture of the sword. First, the sword treated as a delicate meal is the symbolic collage. It serves you well in the first half of life. Name one dynasty that knows this not. Second, the unity of my approach is understood by the immobile warrior. True eyes are required. Rejoice as my own subjects and realms. I build for you a city of swords, by which I mean laws that cut the people who live there into better shapes. Third, girls burn their dresses on my arrival, if I am armored. They crawl to me as bled pilgrims. Minor spirits die without trace. Follow me of all the Almsivi if you are to mark your days with killing. Al-Tadun, the third law of weaponry. Fourth, the immobile warrior is never fatigued. He cuts sleep holes in the middle of a battle to regain his strength. Fifth, instinct is not reflex action, but many miracles held in reserve. I am the welfare that decides which warrior will emerge. Beg not for luck. Serve me to win. Sixth, the span of the apparently inactivated is your love of the absolute. The birth of God from the Netchman's wife is the abortion of kindness from love. Seventh, the true sword is able to cut chains of generations, which is to say, the creation myths of your enemies. Look on me as the exiled garden, all else is uncut weed. Eighth, I give you an ancient road tempered by the second walking way. Your hands must be huge to wield any sword the size of an ancient road, and yet he who is of right stature may irritate the sun with only a stick. The ending of the words is Almsivi.
Hello and welcome back to episode 5 of the Trials of Samuel. I am very, very excited for today's episode. There is a lot of things that I want to get done. We're not going to be doing any quests as such. That's not entirely true. We're going to do a couple of quests, but realistically, most of it's going to be kind of self-guided. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to use our Almsivi intervention scroll to head back to Nissus. And in Nissus, we were here last episode. We just did the pilgrimage, but I actually realized there are 3 skill books in this room, and I wanted to grab. Let me just look in here. So these 2 here. So one of these, I believe it's this one here, 722, is a medium armor skill book. And the one next to it is a long blade skill book. So medium armor being governed by the endurance skill is really good for us to get. And we'll also have a look over here. This is the Vivek Ash Mask. So this is the actual, according to the legend, this is the mask that was actually on Vivek's face in that story that we read out last episode. So pretty cool. A little bit of a lore tidbit for you there. So we've got those skill books done. I am planning on leveling up this episode, so it will be level 3 by the end of the episode. Or rather, probably by the middle of the episode. And one thing, actually, I'm just realizing now that we don't have music. So I turn the music off when I'm recording the cinematic scenes for this. For the intros and for that kind of thing. So that'll be why that was turned off. That's fine. It seems that I remembered to put on the crosshairs and I put on the subtitles again, but I forgot to put back in the music. So that's cool. So the first thing we're going to do, now that we've got those 2 skill books read, is we're actually going to head over to the Phalas Ancestral Tomb, which is just over here. So there is a particular ring in here that we would be very, very good to get. And there's obviously slaughterfish because we're in the water. Can I please hit him? There we go. This tomb's really kind of not really guarded at all, so it should be relatively straightforward to pick up this ring. The kind of the most interesting thing about this tomb is It's in some ways it's very similar to the tomb that we visited in episode 1, just outside of Seydanin, in that it is also an ancestral tomb. But not only that, it's also built or created in memoriam of a Bethesda community member who passed away during the creation of Morrowind. So there we go. So we do that. And we have here the Denstagmus ring. So value 12,000. Doesn't really matter to us because we're never going to sell it. But resist fire, resist frost, and resist shock. 30% on self. Constant effect. Fantastic. We love that. So we stick that on. And I'll re-equip that Demon Katana. There's also this extravagant ruby amulet. I'm just going to pick this up. We may never actually use it for enchanting, but it's good to have as an option. Cool. And there is actually one more place in here that I'm going to go to, and that's just in here. So amulet of opening is selected. Let me just do this. Turns out the bound longsword is actually really good. And it's another of these 36 lessons of Vivek. So Sermon 1. And this talks about the kind of the origin story of I think it's Vivek AM. Yeah. And also Set, that's Sothasil. And so I assume Amalexia is in here somewhere as well. So there we go. Very cool. That one is sorted. I'm just going to check these. I don't think there's anything in here. Repair tongs? Why not? You get a little bit of armor skill for that. It's not much, but it's fine. And that corpse has bone meal and nothing else. So this is pretty much done. There is another door here. I'll just show you what's in here. It's literally nothing. It's just a burial room in there. Cool. So heading back to Nissus now. We're just going to be taking the Silt Strider out of town. And there are a couple of little stops that we're going to make today. A couple of items that we want to pick up. And I think it's actually just one quest that we need to do today. Which is actually, in itself, it's more of a side quest. It's not really a faction-related quest. It's just one of the quest rewards is something that I really want to get to actually round out our armor set. So we don't currently have a belt. This quest offers a belt as a reward. It's quite a good belt. In the main quest, I believe you get offered 2 belts as quest rewards. But we're not going to be getting to that point for a little while. What am I stuck on? Okay. Don't try to jump over this. It freaks out. So we go to Alderaan. And we are going to just pop down over here. Is my render distance up really high? Feels like it is. I feel like I can't normally see the ghost gate that well. Maybe it's just that I always have the light storm when I walk into Alderaan for some reason. So in the Guild of Mages in Alderaan, there is, at the very back, a little door. And in this room, there is a forge. And there's also a Tenor Lurvy. And Tenor Lurvy sells a bunch of scrolls. And the one that we actually want is the amulet. The Scroll of Mark. And the great thing about Tenor Lurvy is she is a restocking Scroll of Mark merchant. So we can actually just buy... I'm going to buy, I think, 4 of these. so that I don't feel too bad about actually using them and then running out. Again, they're a scroll, so they don't weigh anything really. It's 0.2. Cool. And from here, we're going to head off to Balmora. Because in Balmora, I want to be dropping off a couple of items.
Go ahead, I'm listening.
One thing I haven't mentioned yet is actually I'm planning on
Do you want something?
getting rid of a few items from my inventory because I'm going to be taking on heavier gear today. And we're also going to be dropping off things like our loot at the end of the episode. We're going to have to find a way to get all of that loot out. And here we have a sleeper. So the sleepers are basically, they're the ones who have been corrupted by Dagoth-Ur's influence. And so here we have Landris Balal. I am a sleeper, one among thousands. I bring you a message. Dagoth-Ur calls you, Samuel, and you cannot deny your lord. The sixth house is risen, and Dagoth is its glory. The sixth house, the sleeping house, House Dagoth, the house of Lord Dagoth. The true house, the one house to welcome all true Dunmer and drive the Inwa from our land. Take heed, Outlander. The day of reckoning is at hand. Take what you can and leave our place, for when Lord Dagoth comes, this will be no place for you. He is the Lord and Father of the mountain. He sleeps, but when he wakes, we shall rise from our dreams, shall sweep our land clean of the Inwa. Why have you denied him? As Lord Dagoth has said, all shall greet him as flesh or as dust. So, yep. So that's kind of the first kind of indication that that Dagoth's influence is spreading into the kind of common folk of Vardenfell. So a little bit concerning. Can I just? Okay, I definitely did this when I was practicing this. Please. Okay, there we go. Alright, cool. Scroll of Undo's been hindering. Let's go. Alrighty. So, Ralin Hlalo. He is a man who has been killed in his own home. His body never despawns, and it is considered to be a kind of safe and secure container. So what that means is that we can basically drop off our loot into his body with no concern that it's going to despawn. So I'm just going to put in our alchemy ingredients, and we'll put in the alchemy equipment as well. And we'll put in that extravagant ruby amulet. The other thing I'm going to put in here is, I think I mentioned last episode, I was going to choose between the Iron Shard Sword and the Iron Spark Sword. Now, I've had a bit of a think about this, and I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually keep the Iron Spark Sword. And I've had a little think about the Demon Katana and the Sword of White Woe. I actually think I prefer the Demon Katana because of the Bound Longsword ability. I tend to find this Sword of White Woe, it keeps running out of charge too quickly for me. So I'm going to drop off the Sword of White Woe as well. So we'll have the Iron Spark Sword, which we're going to use for kind of the lower level foes. And then we'll bring out the Demon Katana for the more difficult fights. Cool. So there is now 2 weapons we've dropped, and before I forget, I'm going to use the Scroll of Mark. Cool. And so now when we've got the Amulet of Opening, Amulet of Recall paired with that, all that's going to mean is that when we use the Amulet of Recall, we just teleport back to here. Regardless of where in the world we are, we're going to teleport back to Relland Hlalo's body. Which is going to be really useful, because that's going to be kind of where we're going to store all of our gear. And then from there, what we can do is we can put down a different mark somewhere else in the world. And then just teleport back and from, to and from there, and just ferry loot across. But at least it's going to make it easier for us to basically store all of our gear when we get them.
Something I can do for you?
So next on my list of things to do is I want to actually... Oh, hang on. There were more scrolls I wanted to get from Galbadia here. So there's an amazing Hop Toad spell. I just love this spell so much. I'm actually going to get loads of these because I'm going to be using them, I think. Was there anything else that I wanted from you? She sells some magical enchanted items as well. This one's my favorite. She doesn't have it actually. She sometimes sells like a water spear, and it's just this like a really low level spear, but it has like water breathing for 100 seconds as a cast on use effect. That's quite cool. It's just so random. There's some absolutely bonkers like low level gear in this game. We get 3 restore strength potions, and I also want to get a restore endurance potion. Please, cute. And we're gonna sell a few of these. So the restore speed, I guess we'll keep. Potion of dispel, I just don't use it. Restore fatigue, restore strength, drain lag. Fortify speed, fortify willpower. I'm gonna drop that one. Willpower has such like a low weight in the calculation to actually cast a spell that it's kind of not even worth it to fortify it. I want to actually talk to this guy here. Is there
something I can do for you?
Mararan Dren. So he sells quite a few alteration spells. I'm looking for buoyancy, and we'll also grab water breathing, water walking, and levitate. There are a few more of these that are quite good, but for now, I think that will do just fine. Those are kind of like the what I would consider to be kind of the bare minimum of the alteration skill tree is to have levitate and a couple of these water-based effects. And I'm going to craft a spell that I basically always craft whenever I use a character that doesn't use alteration magic too much. Is this levitate 1 point for 11 seconds. And all that's going to mean for us is that if we get stuck or if we are on the wrong side of a hill, instead of having to go around, what we can do is we can kind of slowly walk over using that wonderful levitation effect. Cool. Grab some restore fatigues. I don't know if I'm going to use them, but it's better to have them and not use them than it is to need them and not have them. Cool. Pop to Vivek.
Greetings.
Now, in Vivek, what I was going to do... is not get lost, but I've already failed at that.
Outlander.
Hello, latest rumors.
How can I help you?
Okay. You don't have any rumors for me, Mr. Archmagister? Magister? Maester? I don't know. What about you? Do you have latest rumors? What about you? Do you have latest rumors? Nope. It's all Solstheim up in here. So there is a particular quest that I'm looking to start here.
What Khajiit
Go
do
on
for
about
you?
your business.
But everyone's talking about Solstheim.
So where are you from?
Why are they all talking about Solstheim? Okay. Maybe if I go to the Wasteworks, they'll have someone else more interesting. What do we got? Oh, you're a alchemy merchant.
Yes.
What about you? These rumors. Oh my god, it's all Souls time. How do I get... I don't know. It's very annoying because I'm not planning on doing Souls time for a long time. So, when I'm trying to get another quest started, I wonder if I could just do it without having a quest thing in my inventory. Because I know what the quest is that I want to do. Let me just try that. I'm going to do a quick save here. And I'm just going to try to do the quest. And if we need to, we can go back and go via the quick save. Oh no! Don't attack me. I didn't expect him to aggro. He's never aggroed on me before. Oh my god, please. Why is he so fast? Hello? Give me Fortify Strength. Did I even use that? Okay. Alright, give me that. Give me Restore Fatigue. Oh my god. I did not expect this fight to happen. Jeepers creepers. Quick load.
What is this regarding, Edgar? The spirits and thy lords.
No.
You may speak.
What is this
ask your
about?
question quickly?
There we go. Have you heard? 7 victims.
Wealth beyond measure.
Cool. Okay. So the gist of this quest is that there are a bunch. I'm gonna walk through the inside actually, the other side. There are a bunch of murders that have taken place in Vivek City,
Matsera.
mostly around the foreign quarter.
I'm listening. Go ahead.
And the guards don't really know what's going on. So the ordinators, who basically are the town watch of the city of Vivek, don't know who the perpetrator is, and they've also lost 2 people to these string of murders. So they're offering a bounty to anyone who can bring the murderer to justice, and that's exactly what we're going to do. Is we're going to claim the bounty. The bounty is either a set of, well, not a set, but a Indoral helm and cuirass, which is what the ordinators use as part of their kind of uniform in Vivek and a few other places around the map. Or we can get an enchanted belt. And the enchanted belt is what we want. As I mentioned at the start of the episode, the belt is kind of the piece that we're missing in our list of items. So I will
About your business.
claiming that. But yeah, the Indoral helm is pretty cool.
Tidings.
It's pretty cool. But the belt's more useful, and also the Indoral gear is actually it's medium armor. So you know, we've got like a medium armor skill of like 16 or something, compared to our heavy armor, which is 40 something from memory. So we're going to the Office of the Watch, and the Office of the Watch is around here, up these stairs, and right here.
What do you think of our city, Outlander?
And Elam Andas has this quest for us. So we've had 7 killings in Vivek recently. All the victims had their throats slit. Most did not appear to have struggled. 5 victims were Outlanders, 2 were Ordinators. The 2 Ordinators were armed and on duty. Their weapons were still in their belts. Nothing was removed from the victims' bodies. I cannot hire you. Only Ordinators may serve the watch. But if you can find this killer and execute him, I personally promise you a very handsome reward. I require no commitment from you. Indeed, I cannot officially accept one, but if you are interested, I can tell you what we know about the 7 victims and the reports of witnesses. So here we go. So there are no witnesses in Hlalu compound. So we know a little bit about House Hlalu. They are, generally speaking, favorable to the Empire. And so we probably have here a, just based on the evidence, we probably have a kind of fanatic, xenophobe, racist Dunmer here. So a Dunmer woman with a dagger. That's the only description we have, in a skirt and netch leather armor.
There is someone.
So we've got an idea. There were a recent string of murders in Hlalu compound and also in the foreign quarter. So we'll head back to the foreign quarter. Cool. So here we go. We've used up a few of our potions. That's fine. I do have one of these restore fatigue, so. So we've got a lot of really, really good items that we can use in a fight. Okay. So here you are. There's a rat here as well. Cool. And here we have the perpetrator of these crimes. They have on them a Dagoth dagger, which is kind of our first indication that potentially this is related to the actual main story quest line and the ongoing crisis in Vardenfell.
Go ahead, Outlander. What do you need?
Cool. The Dunmer woman you killed matches the description given us. We'll dispatch ordinates to follow up, but I believe you have identified and executed the killer. Alright. You may either have an Indoral helm and cuirass, or a belt of the armor of God. The helm and cuirass are heavy armor. That's a lie. It's medium armor. Don't wear the armor in Vivexity. So there are rules around where and when you can wear the armor. I don't like rules, man. Like, if I'm making rules, they should be self-imposed, not by the guys in the game. So I will take the belt. And we already have amazing cuirass anyway, and we will have a good helm by the end of the episode. So here we go. Belt of the Armor of God. Cast when used. Fortify Willpower, 10 points for 30 seconds. Sanctuary, 20 points for 30 seconds. And I'll talk more about that in a sec. And also Shield, 10 points for 30 seconds. So its value's pretty low. But I think the real kind of kicker with this belt is that it is going to be another thing that we can preload before we go into a fight. So we've got the Amulet of Mighty Blows, which is Fortify Strength for 5 to 20 points. That's basically like a Sujamma Light, essentially, before we go into a fight. Basically like, I don't know, like a third of a Sujamma. for basically free. There is the Belt of the Armor of God. So Sanctuary, what that basically does, from my understanding, is that when you have Sanctuary 100 points, you cannot be hit in combat. When you have Sanctuary 20 points, you've got a 20% chance for the enemy to miss you, which is pretty good. That's my understanding of it. If that's incorrect, please let me know. But that's my understanding of that Sanctuary skill. And also Shield just means that when they do hit, we take less damage, essentially. 10 points is not that much, so it's probably going to be very, very minimal damage reduction, but it's nice in any case. Demon Katana, obviously the Bound Longsword, which gives us a essentially the equivalent of a Daedric Longsword, and also has a benefit of boosting our Longblade skill by 10 points. And the Frost Mirror Robe, which we talked about last time, that Reflect ability is really, really good. And also the Lord's Mail, Resist Magic, which is awesome as well. Cool. So we have all of these as options for us. And actually, I've just realized we have the Velos Robe. And there we go, we're back to nearly full health. Just based off the enchanted items that we have. And I need to be careful about using the engraved ring of healing because we have 2 constant effect rings now, and so I want to have them on pretty much all the time. So we're heading out the north side here, and we're back to the St. Delen Canton. And from here, we're just going to walk. Oh! Is there anything else in the back that I want? No, I don't think there is. So actually what we'll do, we'll use our Amulet of Recall. So now we're back in Balmora. And we are going to get a couple of things while we're here. Mostly what we're going to do now is actually train up skills. So I want to grab, let me just have a quick look at what we've got. So we've got 2 levels remaining until we increase our level. We've got 3 speed, 2 strength, 2 endurance. Okay. And we have not too much gold.
Speak up.
Jeepers creepers. So what I'm going to do first is I'm actually going to buy the items that I need for the next part of today's episode. Which I think is actually... Yeah, I think it's just probes. So those little disarming trap items. That's what we're going to get now. And then once we've done that, we'll go and hit up some trainers.
Come on, if I can help, I will. But
You
don't
want
take too much
something?
time.
Oh my gosh, everyone is talking all the time. It's terrifying. Are you the... Yes, you are. We'll just go for these apprentices probes, and we'll get all 3. Disarming traps is really, really useful. And I don't believe
Has no words for
that
you.
there is
This better
a...
be important.
Wow, these guys hate me. What the
Come
hell?
on then, say something or move on.
Okay. Very, not nice to me, huh? So this is Nine Toes' house. Up into Nine Toes' house. And I'm pretty sure...
Please go ahead, speak.
Hang on, what do I... I need strength, endurance, and speed. What do you train? So you just do athletics. Cool. I think what we'll actually do is we're going to use a blades trainer that I basically never use. And that's actually Caius himself.
Greetings to you. A pleasure to meet you.
Oh my god, the scuma's gone to his head. He's forgotten who we are. We'll do hand to hand. He was born in the Ash among the Velothi and on Kyma before the war with the Northern Men. Im came first to the village of the Nechaman, and her shadow was that of Boethia, who was the Prince of Plots, and things unknown and known would fold themselves around her until they were like stars, or the messages of stars. Im took a Nechaman's wife and said,
I am the face-snaked queen of the 3-in-1. In you is an image and a 7-syllable spell. I am a Seti a Vec, which you will repeat to it until mystery comes.
Then Im threw the Nechaman's wife into the ocean water, where drows took her into castles of glass and coral. They gifted the Nechaman's wife with gills and milk fingers, changing her sex so that she might give birth to the image as an egg. There she stayed for 7 or 8 months. Then Set came to the Nechaman's wife and said,
I am the clockwork king of the 3-in-1. In you is an egg of my brother-sister, who possesses invisible knowledge of words and swords, which you shall nurture until the Hortator comes.
And Set then extended his hands, and multitudes of homunculi came forth, each like a glimmering rope through the water. And they raised the Nechaman's wife back to the surface world and set her down on the shoals of Azura's coast. There she lay for 7 or 8 more months, caring for the egg knowledge by whispering to it the codes of Mephala and the prophecies of Veloth, and even the forbidden teachings of Trinimac. 7 Daedra came to her one night, and each one gave to the egg new motions that could be achieved by certain movements of the bones. These are called the Barons of Move Like This. Then an 8th Daedroth came, and he was a demi-prince called Farnuit Hen, or the multiplier of motions known. And Farnuit Hen said, Whom do you wait for? To which the Nechaman's wife said, The Hortator.
Go to the land of the Indoril in 3 months' time, for that is when war comes. I return now to haunt the warriors who fell and still wonder why. But first I show you this.
Then the barons and the demi-prince joined together into a pillar of fighting styles terrible to behold, and they danced before the egg and its learning image.
Look, little Vec, and find the face behind the splendor of my bladed carriage, for in it is delivered the unmixed conflict path, perfect in every way. What is its number?
It is said that the number is the number of birds that can nest in an ancient tipperol tree. Less 3 grams of honest work, but Vivek in his later years found a better one, and so gave this secret to his people.
For I have crushed the world with my left hand,
he will say.
But in my right hand is how it could have won against me. Love is under my will only.
The ending of the words is Almsavi. So we're going to rest here. I'm predicting we get a Dark Brotherhood Assassin, but we'll see. Yes. You have ascended to level 3. You realize that you are catching on to the secret of success. It's just a matter of concentration. Strength, speed, endurance. 95 endurance, which is awesome, and 60 strength, 45 speed. So we got a Dark Brotherhood Assassin. And the reason why I've gone into here instead is that when I walk into Fighters Guild now, I'll have a little bit of time before he aggroes onto us. And that time is going to let us do all of our enchantments. So here we go. Customer robe. Oh my god. Amulet of Mighty Blows, and then Demon Katana.
Tidings and good news.
Okay, well that was straightforward. That was actually our first Dark Brotherhood Assassin. And you know what? We're gonna take all of his stuff. He has a carved ebony dart, which, yep, it's pretty good. I'm not going to use it right now, actually. What I'm going to do is I'm going to stick all of this on Ryland Lalo. Because I don't want to deal with the carry weight, but I am probably going to grab it all at the end of the episode. Or maybe next episode when we go and sell stuff. And then we make loads of money, and then we will be leveling up a lot, I think. Cool. So that's done. And I think now, just gonna double check. Got 3 restore health potions. It's probably enough. I might grab a couple more just to be safe. We are heading into an area where things can go very wrong very quickly. And so it might be a good idea to have a couple of health potions in reserve. I'm also planning on avoiding the use of Sujamma, because I think Sujamma probably would make it a little bit easier. And I'm going to grab one of these, and I'm just going to try to repair what we currently have. And I'll drop it.
Is there something I can do for you?
Cure common disease. Not super interesting for us. We'll grab some restore magic here as well. Cool. And now we are going to take the Silt Strider out of town. And what we're looking to do is to head over to Vivek. Yeah, that iron helmet's gotta go. Click, 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 he says. Not Vivek, sorry, Alderaan. Alderaan. It's very creepy when the faces are so close up. And from here, we head to Kull.
Where would you like to go?
So Kull is at the very top of Vardenfell, up here. Not the very top, I guess. I guess the very top would be like Sheer Gorad on the slightly northeast end. And this is where our Levitate spell comes in real handy. So we're going to be actually... I don't know of a way to get over this little ridge. There probably is if I go in one direction long enough. But the great thing about Morrowind compared to the other games is that sometimes you don't need to follow the path that's most traveled, as it were. And you can make your own path, and even if that means that you're impeded by mountains that you can't actually go over. You know, Skyrim have the horse AI on mountains. In Morrowind we've got the levitate spell. And we've got a 49% chance to cast this. And so what I'm going to do, because there's an 11-second uptime on the cast, is I'm just going to keep casting it the whole time that we're in the air. Okay, cool. So now we're on flat ground again. And I'm pretty sure there's a way around if I walk this side. So we can kind of shimmy our way over. There's a cliff racer over there. Okay. Yeah. Another reason why we have a levitate 1 spell is you can get stuck between rocks in little crevices, and then your camera starts glitching out. Levitate 1 lets you just leave. And here we go. So We've got a Dwemer ruin there. We've got a Daedric ruin in that direction. Another Dwemer ruin. And actually a Velothi tower over there. I haven't talked about Veloth yet. I did mention that I was going to talk about him at some point. And I definitely will. But that was a fucking something else. Jeepers. Okay, cool. And we're dropping down. Dropping down. Now this Dwemer ruin on the right here is actually, I believe it's called Drushkati or something. I wonder if I can see it here. No. It's the home of a particularly tenacious vampire clan known as the Quara vampires. And if you ever become a vampire in this game, first of all, why on earth would you torment yourself with being a vampire in Morrowind? It's awful. And second of all, I think the Quara clan are actually the strongest ones, in my opinion. Come on. Why are you so high? Alright. Hey, Mr. Script. Please don't kill me. So again, we're just going to use our Veloth's robe. And now we're on flat ground again. Oh, it feels good. Cool. So we are heading into a cave. And I need to remember where this cave is. I think it's around here somewhere. I don't quite remember where. Slightly to the north of this, so it must be along this road. Oh my god, there's rats, there's cliff races, everything is awful. Here we go. This is Ibadad. Now, quick note here. This is a non-leveled, a cave with non-leveled enemies. And so, what I mean by that is that the enemies are going to be of a certain level of power, regardless of what our level of power is. And in this case, that is terrifying, because we are level 3, and they are like level... the humanoids are level 16, there's a couple of scamps in here, but there's also much higher level Daedra than that. So, we are going to do our great thing of spamming all of our enchantments. Alright, let's go. She can paralyze us, so I'm trying to avoid getting hit by her. And then we close the gap as quickly as possible. Preferably before her Bone Walker gets a hit in, and we managed to do that. That was great. That was ideal. I'll grab that gold. All of this is pretty much just trash to us now.
It's over for you!
So yeah, the ideal with spellcasters is just to make sure that you get right up in their face as soon as possible. Plain Key, Ring of Night Eye, and I think all of these we don't really need anymore. A cheap potion of Swift Swim, and a potion of Water Breathing. They would actually come in handy. I'm going to grab both of these. We're going to use them in a second. Can use this Veloth's robe to... And we killed the scamp, so we have the down longblade still active. There we go. Cool. I'd like to get on this ladder, please. Oh, actually, I want to get onto this ladder, actually. So there's a few chests in here that I'm not going to be unlocking. And the real reason for that is that there are, you know, we've got bigger priorities in here. What is draining my strength? Okay. This is why we bring our restore strength. So I believe our strength should be at 60. There we go. Alt F1. Okay, that one apparently doesn't let me get up. There we go. Cool. Now, ideally, what I'd actually have in here is a water walking spell. So I'm gonna wait a second. But you might see just over there is an enemy known as a Daedroth. They're a little bit higher level than we'd like. Okay, well I can't afford to use that. I think it'll be fine. Basically my plan for this next fight is that I'm gonna be doing the same as last time. Oh my goodness. I don't know if that's going to actually do it. This is poison. Shoot, I might have a cure poison that will take effect in time. We might be dead. No. Okay, we just counteracted it just in time. Wow, we got to 1 HP. That was crazy. Okay. We'll attempt to disarm the trap here. Come on, let me in. There we go. Alright. We have to hit this ancient rusted Daedric key. There's also a couple of other... Maybe that's useful. Oh, Ingasta Kavata Kavakas. This is written in slowed. So slowed are terrible. Terrible beings. And exclusive potion of Night Eye. Okay. Cool. I don't actually know how dark this is going to be in the next area. So I may actually even use that. What's down there? The map just ends there. Okay. I may actually use this potion of Night Eye. How long is it for? 60 seconds. Okay. Let's go ahead and cast water breathing. And in fact, we have a potion of water breathing. And we also got a potion of swift swim, I believe. And I'm going to restore Magicka, just while we're underwater. My robes are getting wet. I think it's this way. This looks correct to me. So we wander up the ramp. Okay, that there is a Dremora Lord. I'll just move this out of the way. This is going to be a very challenging fight. More so than the Daedroth was. So, same kind of deal. Gonna cast all of our enchantments. Okay, there's one dead. Oh my god. You see that damage? I actually realized I haven't quick saved. Whoa! There we go. Phew. Drumroll Lord. They have a Dwarven Mace, which is worth 360. I'm not going to bother. And you have a Dwarven Halberd worth 600. Again, I'm not going to bother. Okay. This is a lock level 70 door, but we have the key. And all we're going to do here is actually just try to disarm the trap. This probe will probably fall apart in our hands. Yep. So we'll use another probe. There we go. Door's still locked, and what we're going to do is just wait. We're going to wait for all of our enchantments to wear off, and then we're going to recast all of our enchantments. Inside this room is another enemy, and they're actually more challenging than the Dremora Lord that we just fought was. Probably not both of them together, but it's probably still a relatively hard fight. So what do we have here? Cool. So all of our enchantments have worn off. And we're going to just cast everything again. And kill the Golden Saint. Wow, we got really fortunate with that knockdown at the start of the fight. Holy cow. These guys are very strong. Glass Claymore, I will take that. And you see here there are a lot of chests in this room. So we're going to unlock that. It's not why we came here. But it's nice to grab these things anyway. Just while we're here. All of these ancient silver daggers and these skulls, they are cursed. And so a cursed item in Morrowind, all that means is basically that when you take it from the location, an enemy will spawn in behind you. So the game places an enemy at your location immediately behind you. In a lot of cases, in like Daedric Ruins, for instance, that'll be a Dremora Lord, like the ones we just fought. In this case, it'll be a Ancestral Guardian, I believe. Which is fine. And we're going to take a look at this room. And up on the ceiling here is a shield. Eliden's Ward. Eliden's Ward is a 146 armor rating heavy shield. Has a restore health 50 to 100 points effect on self. It's very heavy, but it is in fact the best heavy armor shield in the game, and it's now ours. Also here we have in this tomb this corpse of a man. I can't remember his name, but I will talk about him probably in the end of the episode. And his artifacts that are on him, which is a Daedric Face of Inspiration, which will replace our Iron Helmet. A Daedric Shield, worth 34,000, which we will sell. A Daedric Battle Axe, which is worth 50,000, which we will sell. And yeah, I'm actually going to pop these back down on the ground again. I'm just going to pop them over here. So what I want to do is open this chest at least. but we'll have to use our scroll. Oh dear. I didn't mean to do that. Oh, Doreen Mercantile? I do not care. That was very fortunate because I forgot to untrap that. And a Daedric Staff. Cool. We'll grab these Destruction skill and Axe skill. Axe is kind of useful. Destruction not so much for us. And I think there's nothing else in here. I've probably missed something, but that's often the way. Yeah, I don't think there's anything else for us in here. This chest over here, I believe is a lock level of 70, so it's probably not feasible for us. So the really cool thing about the Mark and Recall spells is that you can use them even when you're heavily encumbered. And now we're back in Balmora. And he's wearing the Dark Brotherhood gear because it was better than what he had previously. God, that's so funny. This happens to merchants as well when you sell them gear. Is if it's better than what they're currently wearing, they will replace what they've got with that. So this is all stuff that we are going to be selling. We're going to wear the Daedric face though. Yeah, I'll just pop all this on here. We've got Daedra Hearts. And we've got all these as well, which is just amazing. This is going to be a real big payday for us when we go and sell all this stuff to an unsuspecting merchant. So here we go. We have done what we wanted. I'm just going to take off this Frost Mirror robe so that we can kind of get a better look at what Samuel now looks like. That Daedric face is absolutely terrifying. Look at that. Holy moly. I love the details in the Lord's Mail though. The lion kind of...
That's one ugly outfit.
Right there. You did? That's one ugly outfit. Excuse me. Yeah, I'm very happy with this. The one thing that we... Well, I guess the couple things that we can do now is start looking for other enchanted gear. So I'm looking at these kind of pauldrons and I'm thinking maybe we can replace those with something a bit more interesting. And if we actually bring out the bound longsword as well, which looks kind of like a Daedric longsword. Oh yeah. That's a little bit terrifying.
This could be a lovely day, don't you think?
Get away from me. Cool. So an amazing episode. Some really hard fights there in that dungeon. That Daedroth got a few good hits in on us. But I think we will call it here for today. Thank you so much for joining. It's been a really fun run to play through so far. And I'm thinking probably in the next episode, we may continue on with our House Redoran quests. I know there were a few that we didn't hand in yet, that we did on the previous episode.
What do you want?
So I think we'll continue on with that sort of stuff. And we will move forward and keep seeing where Samuel goes. We've got the Tribunal quest line to do still. And so we'll see what kind of gear we can pick up as we go along in those quests. I'm thinking probably with the gold that we get from selling all of our loot from that last dungeon, I think we might try to get a few level ups sorted. That'll make Samuel stronger, but relative to the rest of the game world, I think he'll become a little bit weaker, which might be a good thing at this point with the gear being so good on Samuel, right? So, yep, that's what we'll do next episode. So until then, hope you have a wonderful week ahead. And thank you so much for watching. If you haven't subscribed yet, please consider doing so. And upon that year of the reign of Wolfhearth and his sons, the magnificence that was Mordrin Hannon ended in this world. Representatives of Ashalmaria, Mael Kashishi, and Ald Sotha gathered in a great host at the vastness of Ashurnapatashpi. Even Hilbengard and Doric Gusel were lured from their forge, and for a time the fires of Anudnabia were silent. And thus, on the 9th day of mourning, many slaves and enemies were sacrificed, and the cup of passage was mixed according to the direction of Hannon's formulae. 2 parts blood of traitors, 1 part heart of Daedra, 1 part mixed bitter green petals, void salts, green lichens, and bone meal. 1 part moon sugar, 5 parts flynn. Combine blood, heart, moon sugar in large ebony alembic. Heat fire fed by bones of traitors. Condense vapors into a large ebony flask. For a hot drink, strain contents through scampskin and mix with flynn in large mug, slowly stirring with a glass rod. For a chilled drink, mix in flask with pure Skyrim ice and shake vigorously. Strain through a winged twilight membrane and serve in a gem-encrusted goblet. The wake was considered a great success, as the beverage killed a great many guests, and thus Mordrin Hannon was supplied with companions in the next world.